What is the tragedy of the commons? So the tragedy of the commons is the overuse of common goods or common resources. And the overuse comes from the fact that they are not excludable, but they are rivalrous. And the reason why the tragedy of the commons actually comes about is the fact that people pursue their own interests over societies. Okay. What could the government do to fix the toilet paper shortage? Well, the government can do a few things, right? They can put a quota down, they can tax or subsidize. I was looking for taxes or subsidies. Now, a tax typically lowers the quantity of toilet paper in the market, but what it does is it raises the price. So if you said tax, you should have said raises price in order to get the points, because it raises the price of toilet paper so people are less likely to hoard it. Or if you said subsidy, you should have said this raises the quantity. Some of you said quota on toilet paper, but it's pretty hard to enforce. That could be enforced at the market level. So then the market, the shortest answer I was looking for was raise price. The market should just let the price of toilet paper go up. Now, a few other things can be done in the market, not by the market. So in the market, you can set quotas, or you could also set, you could do discriminatory pricing, price discrimination. Where your first toilet paper is normal price, your second is that plus $100. Why is the market for luxuries suffering more than other markets during our current pandemic? What I was looking for here was that, remember, all of the markets are going to be affected by the pandemic because your income goes down. So normal goods are going to be affected all the same, but luxuries are more elastic. Thus, any change affects them more than other markets. What is the economic argument for allowing price gouging? Price allocates goods efficiently in the absence of externalities. So, allowing price gouging gets the goods to those who value it the most. Okay. This should have had a not allowing for price gouging. And the reason would be this thing we call arbitrage, which you haven't learned about. Okay. But when we allow price gouging, what are we doing? There's actually not a shortage of toilet paper currently. So what you're doing by allowing for price gouging when there's not a shortage is you're actually hurting the surplus. So here, the economic argument for not allowing price gouging would be it hurts consumer surplus. Okay. What are the two ways a government can correct for a negative externality? Which of these two is preferred by firms with political clout? Taxes or permits? Firms prefer permits because they could then get those permits and sell those permits for revenue. China exports telescopic shaft umbrellas. What happens when China places a tariff on the market for telescopic shaft umbrellas? Well, if you put a tariff is strictly on imports. So then the answer here was nothing. Other than transaction costs, what could cause the Coase theorem to break down? I accepted a multitude of answers that got partial credit. What I was looking for was number of interested parties. Is large. Or you could have said the marginal benefit of the person is actually higher than the marginal cost, so then no agreement takes place. Describe what it means for a good to be rivalrous. Also describe what it means for a good to be excludable. Rivalrous means that one person's use diminishes another's enjoyment. Excludable means that you can be stopped or prevented from consuming. Okay. Most often this is done through price, but price is not the only thing that can make something excludable. And that's going to be particularly important in this next one. So when we're talking about a road and what makes it a private good, a common resource, a club good, and a public good. So we'll do private in red, common in blue, purple and green. So then private, it should be excludable and rivalrous. Right? What makes roads excludable are tolls. If you can't pay the toll, then the road is excludable. What makes it rivalrous is the congestion. Too many people on this toll road makes it a private good. So for instance, if you make a road, if you fence off a road and you make it private in a gated community, for instance, there's very likely not going to be, jeez, what is going on? There's likely not going to be any congestion on that road. And similarly, it's not tolled. Right? It's probably part of your house thing, so it might be excludable, but it's not rivalrous. Next, for a common resource, it should be non-excludable, but it should be rivalrous. Which means here we just say no tolls plus congested. In order to be a club good, well, now it needs to be excludable and non-rivalrous. So this is going to be tolls, but no congestion. A public good is non-excludable and non-rivalrous, which means no tolls and no congestion.